I want you to want me.
Hey, we're back in the shop at ATV Racing with Luke, and he's going to show us a little something about Powerbloc clutches today. What do you got, Luke?
We have a Powerbloc clutch, all the pieces that come with it, a holder tool, a black spring. Anytime you do one of these clutches, you need to make sure that you mark it and line up this D groove right here onto the shaft. If you don't get that lined up, it'll strip out and the clutch will fail. It's got these weights that come with it. It's got 3 pucks. The amount of weights that you put in there determines what RPM that it runs at wide open. This controls the stall. This black spring will make your pilot take off at about 4,200 RPM. And then by the different amount of weights you put in there is what it's going to run when you're wide open. This particular clutch is going on a ported motor. It's got a pipe, big carb, CDI box mod, no airbox lid, and we're going to set it up with 11 weights. So you basically count out the weights.
And this is something you've learned over time is what the hot setup for this particular motor is.
Yes, lots of R&D.
Can you use those weights as tokens at a car wash?
Or a Chuck E. Cheese, yeah.
Awesome. So how does this setup compare to other clutches that use rollers and weight arms and springs?
There's other clutches out there. There used to be a clutch called a Quick Shift that worked really well, but parts aren't available for them anymore. And this is basically the best bang for the buck. There's not a lot of moving parts in it to fail, and we've had these clutches on cars for 9 years plus, and they've never failed, never had an issue with them. So
it's a pretty good success rate.
yeah. I'm not tightening those up just for the sake of demonstration. I'm going to be taking this back apart, so it's got marked on their top, that faces up.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep. I always take a Sharpie, mark the center of the flat, mark it on the inside so you can see it through the hole. Do the same on the clutch right here. Continue your mark to the outside. I always do this before I put the spring in too. I'll put this on there, I'll turn the clutch so that it slides up in the groove. I'll mark this and mark that. These come with a shim in them. It's not necessary to use that with a brand new one. The order of assembly is this washer is concaved on one side. That goes towards the face. It's got the bushing right here that the belt rides on when it's idling. And then this cup that holds the spring. You put your spring on. This slides down on top of that. Put the rest of these in there with the top facing up. You're going to put this on there, line up your marks. You're going to look down on the hole, line up your mark that you'd put on here. Then you're just going to compress the clutch, take the holder tool, and stick it on there. You want to lend a hand?
Sure.
And you're basically going to check the clutch, see if it's where it needs to drop on there. This one's off a little bit. So I'm going to push down on the clutch, turn it a little bit. On this one right here, it's not touching all the way down. These are cast pieces. They're only machined on one side, so the difference of the width right here, because of this width, sometimes I'll have to take like a quarter and stick it underneath there to compress the clutch a little farther. to actually get this so that it's sitting flush.
Little
That's
inside
the
trick.
most important part. So, if you could slide that under there for me.
There you go.
And that right there gave us enough for this to drop down on the D.
Right.
It has a tiny bit of play in it.
But you know it's aligned with the D
Right.
shape.
When I put this clutch on, I'll hold pressure on this throughout the whole process to make sure that that doesn't slide off.
Right.
I'll run this in by hand until it's touching the cover, and then I actually impact this on here, and it's probably about 100 foot-pounds of what it's going on there at. If you do that, this will never get loose. We've had a lot of people call and say, you know, my clutch bolt keeps coming loose, and I didn't know I was supposed to retorque it. You should never have to retorque this. Once it's on there and it's on there properly, it should never get loose until you're wanting to take it off and you actually loosen the bolt.
Pretty straightforward, I'd say. Thanks, Luke. We appreciate the tip.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.